Hello and welcome back to the HH Gaming podcast, brought to you by Hellhades.com. Once again, I'm joined by co-host of the show, Paul or Saphira, and today we're actually live on Twitch for the first time ever doing the podcast. So it is going to be a bit different. I hope the quality and stuff still comes through okay. This is, I guess, a learning process for us, and we will work out how to get this more refined moving forward. But the reason for this was that we thought it would be a nice idea to have a section at the end of the podcast where we could have people from the community ask us questions live. So yeah, we've just obviously come back from TwitchCon. We've been away from the podcast for a couple of weeks. Saphira had COVID.
Yeah.
Which was fun.
I got the COVID. It was exciting. It was... enthralling. I really enjoyed it. It was a wonderful experience.
I love that you dodged it for so long, and then literally a week before TwitchCon, you get COVID. So
I literally have dodged it for 2 years. Everyone around me is getting COVID, and I'm getting messages like, "Oh yeah, I can't come into work, can't do this, can't do that because I got COVID." "Oh, do you want to meet for coffee?" "No, I can't. I got COVID." I'm like, "All right, never caught it." And of course, the time before we have to go away, that's when I decide. I'm still trying to work out where I caught it. And my mum has been like Cluedo, inspector, trying to figure out the timelines to when I could have possibly got infected, and it didn't make any sense to me. But
who gave my son COVID? I must know.
Honestly, I don't know, because I met someone the 2 days before I started getting symptoms, but he had literally just had it. So I was like, well, it can't be him.
But it takes like a week before you even start to see symptoms. So it must have been a week before that.
Exactly. The only person I'd met a week before that is my mum, and. Well, she's like negative. She didn't get any symptoms. She didn't get anything. So I'm like, well, unless she's got a better immune system than me, which you...
I mean, it's likely. She probably goes outside more than you do.
Yeah, it's actually, yeah. I mean, I am basically a... Well, she could have been asymptomatic, I guess, as well. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell. But anyway, I got over COVID. It was a great experience. Wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, not advisable.
It's not the best DLC pack to get in life.
But... Getting COVID actually allowed you to come to TwitchCon, because up until that point, we weren't.
Couldn't go.
Yeah, we couldn't. Yeah, you couldn't go because of the way that the EU rules and things like that work with the UK and the Netherlands. There's all kinds of rules still in place with COVID. So it actually was looking likely that you weren't going to be able to join us. However, because you recovered from COVID in time, we were able to get you a certificate to prove that you'd recovered from it, and you could join us on the trip.
That certificate they didn't even scan when you went to the airport control.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah,
like that. All of the effort that you went through it, and then you just it's
great.
In.
You basically go onto the government websites, and it's red flags everywhere. You can't go. Everyone's dying. Plague, horrors. Biblical sense, and then you walk through the airport control. It's like, yeah, go on, off you go.
In you go.
Have fun. Avoid the space cakes.
Yeah,
like, literally. Okay, the one thing doesn't correlate with the other, but yeah. So that's why we've been away. Really, it's been COVID, and before that we were like, oh, let's. Sorry, you're gonna see it. Get out of the way, animal. Honestly, she wants to join the podcast today.
It's the joys of doing it live.
Aye, this would have been edited out. So yeah, that's why we've been away. We planned to do it literally the day I got caught COVID, because it was a Thursday. We normally record on a Thursday. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so we did that. Then we recovered. Then it was prep for TwitchCon. You were pretty busy being the mother of the trip, organizing it all, getting all the plans in place, the documents, making sure everyone was there on time. And yeah, and now we're back. But
we are. What a trip, though.
TwitchCon.
Yeah. So first day, I guess, of TwitchCon.
Let's talk about the flying experience.
The flying experience. Well, flying with you is something I never want to do again. I'm not a best flyer.
What?
I am not the best flyer at the best of times, okay? And then I sit next to Paul in the aeroplane. First thing he says to me is, do you ever think that you're in a tin can in the middle of the air, that it could just drop out the sky?
Well, actually, I think the one thing that worried me was the fact that our plane was leaking and no other planes were leaking. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was probably fine, the leakage, but it was a bit concerning that
you don't need to point these things out.
And also, when the airport, the pilot kind of like walked down the steps and looked at the engine and all this, I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking, okay, well, he's probably just doing his general post-flight checks, but at the same time, he's looking quite intently at the airplane engine, and it doesn't fill me with a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when you hear things on the town, it's like, well, we've got their bags, but we don't have the humans, so we're not quite sure what we're going to do here. I'm like, okay, well, who the hell's running the show? It's a bit stressful. But I do have a habit when I'm in these situations of doing a running commentary, and
you did.
it was
You put me at ease.
I was just
Put me at ease. But yeah, getting through the airport, Bristol is where we flew out of, and I mean that was like herding sheep. It wasn't
they
particularly
kept
fun.
shoving us in the corner, and I was like, but you're just like making it harder for us to go around. You're not actually saving any space here. You're just moving people into a corner. It was brutal. I mean, they just didn't have enough staff on. I mean,
I mean, in fairness though, the time that it took to get through the airport wasn't really that bad. I know.
Wow.
Once you get through that initial rush, we were lucky. I'd say we were lucky. We planned ahead and we didn't have to check in any luggage. So we did kind of get through. But I think everyone who's trying to go on holiday and fly for business or anything is not having a particularly great time in airports at the moment. But we got to Amsterdam, and it was me, Safira, and Neva who landed initially. Hellhades and Lockers then came later on in the day.
They were quite late, weren't they? They were a lot later.
Yeah,
in the end,
because their flight, they were going to fly in at the same time as us, but then their flights got cancelled and they got rescheduled for later on in that afternoon, which was a bit of an annoyance because they missed out on the first day, but it was still fine. So when we landed in the airport, we met up with Faithy, who's actually been on this podcast before, who is a warrior from Method World of Warcraft Guild.
Great Dane, as we call him now.
Yes, absolutely. And we went and just kind of chilled out with him, met up with a load of the guys from Method on the first day, then went back to the hotel, checked in Hellhades and Lockers, and then me and Safira returned to going out with the Method guys while everyone else slept.
That was a lot of drinking.
Yeah, it was. It was so cool to be around other people who do a similar sort of thing to us. They work in a similar environment because we spend so much of our lives kind of cooped up in our offices at home. Actually being around other people who are in the same industry as us is a very rare thing. So to be able to...
a different energy, right? I mean, we were talking about it when we came back, and we're like saying, wow, to some extent we were sitting, we probably should have like made more of an effort to get some sort of footage or, go live a little bit more. But actually for us, it was just nice for once to be in a space with like-minded thinking individuals who are all having the same energy towards the same goal. And then you start like, we're doing this live now as an inspiration as a result of, going to TwitchCon and getting that kind of experience with people and feeling, being in the same space. You get a different energy when you're face to face with people who kind of share your own interests. Whenever I explain my job to people, they always look at me a bit like, so you do what? And I have to just go, I make websites.
You play computer games for a living?
Yeah.
Like,
you make YouTube videos on what? And I'm like, well, the games.
It's like, you've got an easy life, haven't you?
Yeah. So, but it's good to actually be in that space, and we've come away with so much, I think, goals and energy, and even though we probably could have got more content out of it, I think actually we've got more future content out of it, which was really exciting.
Yeah, and we do have a video that we're putting together of that trip, because we did take a lot of video while we were out there, but when we look back on it, we didn't want to spend a lot of time in front of the camera kind of talking it to it. So it's more kind of clips of us walking around, some of the things that we did inside TwitchCon as well. And when you condense it down to try and make a semi-interesting video about it, it kind of just comes to like a 4 minute or so show reel.
But the whole experience was great. I mean, we went to the opening ceremony. That was quite cool.
Yep.
We got to see a couple of people made partner.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be fiction in the next TwitchCon. I'm hoping.
God
part
no.
partner.
God no.
Get him up on stage. Meet Mary.
Yeah.
I did find it quite ironic that the person they brought up was like, I've been doing it for 4 years. I'm like, that's not a good thing to tell people. I mean, that's saying you got to work extremely blimmin' hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, we went to that. The expo hall was loads to do. Like loads, so much to do.
You and Hellhades both became superheroes.
We joined Vought International. If anyone's
Yep.
seen the boys, we've joined Vought. I am apparently the strong Paul now, which is really surreal because I think they were paid actors and they just never broke character whatsoever. And it was like you couldn't tell if they were just trying to be funny.
I
or if they were
wasn't
actually
with
in
you at that
character.
point because I didn't want to line up because the queue is huge. But I've watched
literally got to
the
queue.
recordings and it looked very funny, to be honest.
I literally got to the front of the queue because the queue is quite long. For people watching, the concept was you were basically, they took a picture of you. You went and had like an interview with one of their executives, and they took you into the back room. They gave you Compound V, which is obviously the superhero substance from the TV show, which turns people into superheroes or give them superhero powers. And then you went through like this kind of weird thing where they wanted to test the thing on you. You lifted like a dumbbell. It was actually quite light, just to show that you were strong. They did have a cool little thing where you looked at a camera and you shot laser beams out of your eyes and you could like move around.
I saw a clip of that.
It was really cool. But because it was like proper serious in the sense, like they were in character. So I went up to the front desk and he looked at me and was like, am I meant to say anything? Am I meant to do anything? He was like, hello? And he was like, hello. Like, so what do we do now? And he's like,
how does this work?
Yeah, so he's kind of like, it's really creepy. And then they were like showing you like these, like when you go to like a psychologist, where you have like a psychologist thing where you like, they show weird pictures and they say, what do you see? I'm like, I don't know. It's a bit weird. It's a bit creepy. But,
it's an evaluation as to whether you're safe. What was the stuff that they made you drink?
Well, I don't know. They started off by saying, do you plan to operate heavy machinery? And do you have any allergies? And again, because they're actors, I don't know whether they're actually joking or whether they're being serious here.
Okay. So I just saw you and Hellhades drinking it out of test tubes. Again, we've got a video of it, so you guys will see it
me and
on Hellhades' channel.
No. We're literally, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, is it actually, like, do I actually need to tell them if I'm allergic to something? I mean, I'm not really allergic to anything, but apart from like one form of penicillin, but I doubt it's penicillin in there, you know? I think it was just like some sort of green Lucozade, basically. That's what it tasted like. It was like a sugary kind of drink.
Okay.
But,
and it gave you superpowers.
Yeah. Indeed. I don't know if you have to be in the fetus, Sinter. Just seeing that comment. I don't know. I know in the new series you don't have to be, because they got like a temporary thing in the new series, haven't they? In the one that's just released. But anyway, the concept was cool. Obviously, being TwitchCon, Twitch is owned by Amazon. They doubled down, Prime Video, Prime Gaming, they had big sections. There was a massive...
New World.
Yeah, there was a massive statue of Homelander. It was really huge. There was actually no purpose to the statue other than it looked cool.
I actually met one of while I bring it up, one of the developers of New World, and he gave me a copy of the game with a code. So
Steelbox as well.
Steelbox. I know Hellhades got one of these as well. Now I've already got New World, so we'll do a giveaway at some point for the code for that game. So it's a full version of the game. If anyone's interested, we'll do a giveaway on the website for that code.
It's actually worth playing. If anyone hasn't played it and they're thinking, oh well, should I play it now? For what you get for like the original like leveling process. And like they've added 3v3 arenas now, and they've put some more balance into it. Obviously, they've managed the server loads much better. It's actually not bad for a one-time purchase type of game. There's no subscription, so it's actually, if you want to have an experience, I highly recommend. You get to chop a lot of trees.
Hopefully, we'll be able to give a couple of these away, because I know Hellhades got one as well, and I think Lockers did.
Somehow I didn't. I don't know.
You weren't with us.
That's true.
I think you were watching the speed running at the time. When we met up with the guys from New World, and so hopefully we'll be able to do some cool giveaways with some of the people that we met as well, outside of just New World and things like that. But a couple of things that I guess got updated whilst we were away as well, especially with the website and Mac Optimiser.
We'd like to find out. We'd like to find out. Obviously, we're going to talk about Mac first and some of the stuff we do. But really, there must be someone in Plarium that sits there and goes, right, when is Hellhades going to be away?
Yeah.
Because literally they haven't...
That's when we're going to drop the updates. That's when the news is coming.
because they hadn't added many champions in the game for a while, only 1s and 2s. And then the 1 week that I'm actually out of action for like the first time since I've started working at, with the guys in at HH Gaming, they go and drop 8 new champions, all of them legendaries. One of them's like a new Trunder beta, and I'm like, oh, this is great, this is wonderful. Why must they do this? And then whenever Hellhades goes away, it's like, let's go and launch all the news drops. So he can't react, and it's like, great. But yes, let's talk about the optimizer first, shall we? Let's cover those things that we've upgraded. So yeah, but I think it was like I think it's like a month ago now, or 2 months ago. People have been asking us to do a Mac optimizer for quite a long time. And initially we were like, no, we're probably not going to do it. We're not going to do it. But it got to such a volume that we felt, it's probably worth us giving it a go.
The problem is, I guess initially with the concept of a Mac optimizer it is a completely different program to the one that we had operating on Windows. And to be able to
root injection, different ways of reading the game. Like Windows OS works in such a different way
to Mac OS. To be able to launch it, we had to get approved as developers for Apple software. And that took us a long time to be able to go through that process of getting the approvals and things like that to be able to produce the optimizer, not only for PC, but also for Mac and things like that.
Yeah.
Now, initially when we launched it, it was kind of in the bare bones state of how the Mac optimizer was the original optimizer was when we launched it on PC, which was just with the brute force version of the optimizer. Now, that's okay, but what we really wanted to do was push out the GPU optimizer because it opens up so many more doors in terms of things that you can do with the software. Yeah,
a load more options, and it's also capable on the GPU side of processing more artifacts than the brute force. The brute force will give you a rough, general, good analysis, but it cannot. Like, it would take forever for it to analyze the volume that the GPU can do. That's the difference, really.
Yeah. So we finally launched the GPU version of the Mac optimizer over the weekend while we were at TwitchCon.
That was great.
Not always the best time for the development team to drop this sort of thing when we're not actually even there to be able to help support it if anything goes wrong.
We had a conversation on Discord, me and Winston Wolf. Winston Wolf's the main GPU guy. He pretty much is a god when it comes to GPU optimizer and all that sort of stuff. And he's been working really hard trying to find the best way to actually migrate the GPU so that it would work on Mac as well. And we were having a DM message about 2 days before we flew, and I was like, do you know what? It's probably a good idea to wait till Monday when we're back, just in case there's any problems, and then I can firefight for you guys while you fix it, and we can do it. And literally on, I think Friday, I saw Deku, the teacher, who's our main guy, the one who basically built the extractor. They were messaging each other, and I could just see where it was going. It's like, we'll just put it live. We'll see what happens. It can break. I'm like, oh God, oh no.
And the best part about it was we were actually going out for a meal with him the same day as well. So
yeah, and they managed to. I think there was a few bugs, but to be fair to them, they're pretty good at fixing them really quickly. Got that out, and I think the thing that most people probably don't realize is, effectively, when we released the Mac extractor, the program that people run to get their data out of the game, that was a completely new version of the extractor. It wasn't just a modded, adapted version of the old one. We effectively built a brand new extractor to make it work for both operating systems. So that was quite a lot of work and a big change. So yeah, the GPU now is active. So basically, if you're a Mac user, you should be able to use it in every single way that a Windows user uses it, without any issues, hopefully. We did have some, as of today, I think we've got a few service stability issues, but I think that's just because, not to brag, we have so many people using the extractor now. We have so many people using the optimizer recording.
Not bragging, but
Yes. I mean, I think the last number we had was something in the region of 150,000 active users.
Yeah.
So it's crazy to see the community has come together and kind of really find value in our tool. So we are doing some behind the scenes work now to try and improve the stability, because obviously what we don't want is people having weird random bugs and being disconnected every few minutes or something, which is what we're kind of seeing at the moment. It's not happening all the time, it's intermittent, but hopefully that should happen in the next couple of days. And then we've got some really, really, really cool upcoming features. better options for filtering on team suggestions, which is I think one of the number one requests that people have in terms of like, well, can you show me team suggestions if I pull this champion, or can you show me team suggestions that don't include this champion? Just more options to find the team that you really want to run or really think that you can build. That's a big thing that's going to be coming very, very soon.
Yeah.
Once we do some of those server optimizations.
And just addressing one of the comments here from Cold Hot Cool. What's the breakdown of the Windows versus Mac users? At the moment, I think Mac kind of makes up about 4%. As far as I can remember, that is just off the top of my head. But that being said, it's obviously a very new piece of software that we've just launched. So we kind of need a little bit more time. And also bear in mind, 4% of 150,000 is still a lot of users. So yeah, it's not obviously anywhere near as big as the PC user base that we've got with the Optimizer at the moment. But the product has only been around for a certain amount of time, and initially it's still in the beta testing phases and things like that with it. So it's expected that it's going to be much lower. The main thing that we wanted to do, and when we do any of these updates, it's not necessarily what we want to, or we're not necessarily doing everything we can just to drive new users and things like that. It's to give the community the tools that they've been asking for, and that's our main driving force with anything that we update and anything that we work on. And since day one, when we launched the Optimizer, people have said, when can we get it on Mac? When can we get it on mobile? Now
mobile's a bit more trickier.
Mobile's probably still a way off. That being said, being able to produce it on Mac is a massive step in the right direction. Because obviously Mac OS and tablets and iPhones and things like that are built around the same framework, but we're still a long way off. We're certainly not going to be releasing a mobile version of the Optimizer anytime soon. But it's something that we would love to do.
It's not that we couldn't do it, because I think we have an idea of how it could work. We're just concerned by
it's the security of things.
What you'd have to do to make it work, and whether that's something we should be encouraging to make it work. And personally, I don't think we should. But as a context for like the Mac Optimizer, when we actually released the Mac Optimizer, and we were saying, it'd be nice if we could use the GPU Optimizer, we actually had the discussion of, well, is it worth us doing it? And in the end, we decided it doesn't. We actually decided it doesn't matter to us in terms of, we knew it would take a lot of effort to actually make it work, and we knew there was a possibility that there wouldn't be enough player base to make it financially viable. But we felt that even for those users that were using the GPU, that were using the Mac Optimizer, they really deserved the GPU alongside the Windows. We didn't want to create like you're a lesser form of player because you're on Mac, if that sense. So it's kind of like, for context, we make these decisions sometimes even against our own kind of, better judgments, really, because most developers would go, well, I'll make it if it's worth it for us, if we can break even.
If it's the money. But because I mean, the whole development of the Mac Optimizer in terms of a business decision cost us an absolute fortune, and in terms of actual return,
just buying the device is the first hurdle. Because what I think a lot of what people don't understand is there's different versions of Mac. An M1 Mac is completely different architecture to, say, an older Mac. So
we had to buy M1 Macs just to test it.
We actually had to buy an M1 Mac just to build the device to test it, because it's a different version. Luckily, the M2 I think is going to be okay. I don't think we have to buy one of those.
We haven't. I haven't actually had chance to see the M2 yet, but I think it's built on the same framework as the M1. It's just more powerful. So
I think it's a case of M1 Macs are built differently to post M1 Macs. So obviously we had to find a way to make both work, which is, Apple is renowned for issues like that. You see it a lot where a lot of the messages we get from people who couldn't make the Mac work initially is, well, you're running Catalina, or you're running an older version of the operating system. And there are components that Apple like to just go, regardless of what people want, we're just going to turn it off. We're going to remove the headphone jack out of phones because we just don't think you want it anymore.
You need to buy Bluetooth headphones, so you don't need that.
You can get some little Lightning, but I mean, Sometimes it's a good idea because they're forcing the world into the right place. Sometimes it's just like, that's really awkward, guys. Why are you forcing it upon us?
Yeah.
I remember a while back, a bunch of older MMOs, specifically Lord of the Rings Online, used to have a Mac version, and then Mac released an OS update which basically disabled one aspect of the code. And in the end, the developers just decided, we're not going to actually fix the problem, because the effort to rewrite the game to make it work now that they've taken away that component is just not worth it for our player base. So players literally had to remain on a lower version of the OS because they took this component away. It was a pretty big issue for lots of different companies that were developing games and software. I can't remember exactly what the component was, but it was about 5 years ago, and it caused a lot of sort of uproar essentially, because they just like to remove it. But yeah, so we've got it out now. It's been out for about a week, I think, as of recording today.
Yep.
I hope everyone's been enjoying it. As always, if people have feedback or if they've got bugs or issues, we have dedicated channels in our Discord, which you can find pretty much anywhere. You can find the link on the website. If you have problems, jump in there. Even if you need help with something, you're not sure if you're doing it right. Often we have people come in and go, no, I can't find a result. We give them some advice and guidance and tweak it, and then they get the result they want. So
yeah, and that's something that I would advise anyone using the optimizer to do, is to be a part of that Discord community, because even if you don't necessarily have a problem, you can read through some of the success stories and you can see how people have built certain teams and how they've used the optimizer to help them, and it can give you ideas for yourself and your teams moving forward. Because and again, if you do need support, please do push towards the Discord. We do monitor our company emails and things like that every single day. However, the email and that side of the business or the support is more towards website issues, billing issues, and things like that. We're not going to give you advice over that line. The only thing we're going to do is tell you to go to the Discord if you're having problems with actually doing things on the optimizer. So it just gives you that platform, and there are so many people who know the ins and outs of the optimizer. You've literally got people like Saphira, you've got Winston Wolf in that Discord all the time, and these are the guys who are actually building the thing. So if they can't help you with the problem, well, I mean, we probably have an issue.
If we can't help you, we just suck, basically. So no. The thing is, even if you email us, it's only manned by fiction here normally. So if you want a quick response, well, if you go to Discord, you'll either get me or you'll get Winston Wolf, or you might even get a member of the community or the mod team who use it regularly as well and are able to answer some basic questions. So if anyone wants to get involved and help other people, then obviously, we welcome it. It's all good. We want to build a community that helps each other basically reach their goals in the game and enjoy the game more, because often the game can feel like a mega grind, and when you are able to hit milestones and hit objectives and clear things because of the optimizer, because of this, or you're able to build that mega really strong build and show off to all your clan mates and your friends in the game, I think that's really where the value and the enjoyment comes from Raid.
And it's people with those stories that we want to hear about as well. We don't want to just see the negative. We don't want to hear like, I've been trying for hours and hours and I can't build a team and things like that. Obviously, if you do get that, then we're here to help. But at the same time, if you got a success story, there's an entire section in the Discord where we'd love to be able to pass the feedback on to the developers and be like, look at this team that these guys managed to build. They were stuck in the game until they used the optimizer, and now they're through, X, Y, and Z dungeons. And seeing the difference in people's clan boss numbers, because I think that's like one of the biggest things. They're running the same team, same difficulty, but they run their characters through the optimizer, and they're doing tens of millions of damage more. It's
often it's even, I was doing like 2-key Nightmare, now I can 1-key Ultra Nightmare. I've seen those,
which is so
before.
cool to hear.
And you're like, wow, that's a big difference.
Because if you think about it, that in time, in sense of somebody's time in the day, if you can make them 1-key Ultra Nightmare rather than 2 or 3-key, that's potentially saving them an hour of their time that they're having to play the game, which is huge.
And it also opens up the opportunity for you to 1-key Nightmare and then 1-key Brutal, so you're getting like as much reward as you can, and you can save that 4th key. So often I'll wake up and I'll do 1-key Ultra Nightmare, 1-key Nightmare, and then 6 hours later or something I'll do that 1-key Brutal, and then I don't have to do any more. I don't have to wait for my 4th key. Now, obviously, I'm
Perfect.
pretty late game. I mean, I'm not saying everyone could do that, but the
What
optimizer
he
will help
means is a
people
mega
get there.
whale.
So, and we also, the other thing I'd also say is we have in Discord a channel for feature requests. Now, we don't guarantee that all the features that are suggested or requested by the community are added. We do have a general philosophy about the way that the optimizer should work. In the past, we've had people like, oh, can you tell it to find me the worst build? We'll never really implement a feature that gets you the worst possible build, because that's kind of contrary to the whole point of the optimizer. But if people want, like, can we have a filter here? Can you add this improvement? We had one person actually come to us and I can't believe we didn't have this on the team suggestions. We obviously had the picture of the champion, but in no way did we actually add the champion name. I was like, oh,
It's funny how we overlook these small things.
how did we miss that? So that was a request.
Oops.
And I think that got added yesterday, basically, that champion names are now in there for both teams and team suggestions. So we actively kind of listen to the community. We might not add everything, and some things might take a little bit longer.
Yeah.
For example, the team suggestion filters has been asked for I think about 3 months now, but we've had to do some back of house programming issues to fix that first. So, but yeah, I'm hoping everyone is enjoying the Mac optimizer. I hope everyone is also enjoying the Windows one as well, and it's serving people's purposes. Hopefully we can sort of fix these stability issues.
We're having a few server issues at the moment, but we are working on resolving
hopefully that shouldn't take too long to fix. So we do have a planned solution, hopefully, to improve that.
Yeah. So let's move on and talk about some of the things that is actually happening in Raid. Because we've got the summer trials going on. We've got hints of a new upgraded Ultimate Death Knight hitting the scenes.
Whenever one of us goes away, it's just like, let's bombard you with news, and then when we're in, we're ready there, we're going like, right, let's give us some news. All we get is like a Raid digest, which just repeats the same thing over again. There's nothing new, and it's like, this is frustrating. So should we talk about the Telerian summer trials first?
Yeah, let's do the summer trials first, and then we'll talk about our man Death Knight and his new Twitter account.
So what I think these summer trials are is another attempt at trying to diversify the type of events that we do. And to be honest, it's been surprising to me that it's taken them this long to actually do a community-driven type of event here, where obviously the community needs to work together to achieve a milestone. And I like the fact that we've got a tracker, although not being in the game is a bit weird. And the milestones that they've done are pretty, there's nothing there that you would sit there and go, oh, that's really awkward to do. They haven't done anything like beats Fire Night stage 25 with only certain champions. None of that happens. That's good.
The only thing that worries me is the sheer amount that you're going to have to do, because...
Well, I mean, this is it. So, I mean, I've got the website open right now. It's been running for 3 days? And we can tell, I was saying before we started recording this podcast, you can tell it's been a clan versus clan, because when you look at the objectives, everyone's like, I don't know,
Spiders jumping
sliver of the bar. Spiders like, yeah, we're like, quarter of the way there, guys. We're good. So everyone has just been running Spider and Spider and Spider. Yeah. The one that I think is going to be quite tricky to hit is the tag team arena. That's a lot of battles. 250 million battles, basically. You have to do.
We actually calculated yesterday, like it was like quarter of a million people using all of their battles every single day for.
Well, we did the Hydra analysis, right? So with Hydra, the good thing about this is you can kind of get an idea of how many players they think they're going to be active in this tournament, because Hydra is a kind of a fixed element, right? I mean, everyone gets 3 keys. You get 3 keys a week. You can't get more keys. There's no way you can buy them. So effectively, they're saying we want 450. Is it 450 or 4.5 million? 4.5 million uses of Hydra key. So if everyone did all 3 keys every week for the duration of the tournament, you can only get 12 keys, give or take, because it's on for a month, right? So that works out as you need 375,000 active players. Now, not everyone, they couldn't have gone into this expecting everyone to use 3 Hydra keys, surely. I mean, that would be obnoxiously arrogant of them to think that would be the case. So if everyone only used, I think, 1 key of their 3 every week, so that would be 4 keys in total over the event, I think it was roughly around about 1.175 million.
Yeah. I remember it being, it was a ridiculous number like that. But
somewhere between, we're going to get somewhere between 400,000 to 1.2 million active players. That's what they're basically framing this event around, because you can use Hydra for that. Now,
They must have educated numbers to see.
You would expect them to have active player numbers, like we have active users and all this kind of stats. It would be remiss of them if they were, any competent business would have an idea of how much customers they have.
Yeah.
So I think in this instance, I don't think it's too bad because you only have to use the Hydra key. You don't have to hit certain HP numbers, or you have to get, they haven't based it on the chests you acquire. They just said use a key. So you could basically.
So you could just ditch the key, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people who don't like it, don't want the quest, so they'll literally just go in day one on reset and just smash normal with whatever champions just to basically get rid of the keys.
Yeah.
But I like the concept. My fear, and I'm gonna sort of preempt this with I could be wrong, but my fear.
Wait, did you just say that you could be wrong? You, of all people?
It happens. Really, but it happens. What I fear is all they're going to do is they're going to basically say, hey guys, if you want a legendary book that you always used to get in champion training, like there's champion training right now, right? So if we do like a like for like comparison, there was a server maintenance. Who knew?
Yeah, I've noticed people talking about that in the chat.
So there's a champion training on right now, and in that champion training, you get a legendary book, 6-star epic chaos ore, an epic book, an ancient shard, some core hammers, gems, rare skill book, arcane potion, void, right? Now, what we're going to get here, we're going to get an epic book, so that's already in the training. We're going to get a legendary book, that's always normally in the training. Sometimes it's not. 300 energy, in the training is about 100, so it's a little bit more energy. We're going to get a rank 5 chicken, that's not normally in this, so that's a little bit of a bonus. 50 XP bros, I mean, come on. 50 XP bros? Like, what? It's pointless. It's not pointless, but it's such a low value.
You're about to get so much hate from free-to-play players by saying that's pointless. But
I get more hate from people for when I say that legendary books aren't as valuable as they think they are. But anyway, we'll skip over that. Get a rank 4 chicken, that's new. An XP barrel, a void shard, and some 6-star legendary chaos ore. So the rewards here are slightly higher than a normal training event because I think they're just going to replace things like the type charms with something. But I would say the rewards that people care about are the Void Shard, probably the Legendary Skill Tome, and maybe the Rank 5 Chicken. Yeah, those are the 3 things that people care about, because I know people don't like Chaos Ore, even though I think it's really valuable personally.
It's very end game, but yeah.
Yeah, the Rank 4 Chicken and the XP Barrels are so niche usages. Not the Rank 4 Chicken, but the XP Barrel specifically is quite a niche usage. It's very difficult to find a good time to use an XP Barrel. To the extent that I only ever used it during the Kyoku tournament. So what they've actually done is they've created a system here, which is what I'm worried about, where we normally give you these things in the champion training tournament.
Yeah.
But now you have to work really, really hard.
And then you get a tournament, which is the same event, basically.
Yeah.
So I guess the only thing is, if it's in addition to an existing tournament, or if there's something else as like a golden reward at the end, for achieving all of these things, I don't know. Either that, or this tournament is ridiculously easy to achieve.
They did say, I saw somewhere that they said that the training event would be simpler or easier. Now, if we still have to get 12,000 champion training points to get the legendary book, that's like ridiculous. I mean, come on, like you've made me work all this time to, as a community, to get all these things done, especially if some of these things need to be done outside of a tournament. So, like, for example, if we're short on Dragon's Lair, everyone's going to have to drop one of their focuses to do Dragon's Lair. And what I would say as well, there's not a lot of coordination options here. Like, how can I actually tell people we need to run more of this? Like, you see what I mean? Like, the idea is cool.
True, and their website's not amazing for it either, to be honest.
It's good that it live tracks. That's really impressive. We did look to see if we could get some sort of live tracking on the point scoring on our website, but it seemed to be a bit tricky.
Yeah, they don't want us to pull the data.
And to be honest, also, I think they'd want people to engage with the landing page so that they could actually see the engagement from a statistics point of view to see if it was popular.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure they did say that it was going to be like a fusion warm-up type of training event. So if that's the case, that's not so bad.
Yeah, it's basically a freebie. You log in for 7 days and you get these things.
Yeah. But it does feel a little bit like the Path of Light situation, where it's kind of like, well, you have to work twice as hard to get somewhat similar gains, and then we'll just throw in a few extra premium options at the end just to make it look better. Now that could be the cynic in me, but that's what it feels like, and I'm hoping I'm wrong.
That's not like Polarium at all. What are you talking about?
Some people have said the rewards are going to be in addition to a normal training event. I actually don't think they will be. I think they will just be this. No, these are the rewards you get. And the other thing I think we've got to point out, they tied the legendary book to Tag Team Arena. Tag Team Arena is one of the most disliked content pieces in the game.
Yeah.
They tied Void Shard to Demon Lord, probably the easiest one to do. The 6-star Chaos Ore was tied to Faction Crypts. That's not too bad, but like people have to remember to do 21. So like.
This is a strategy, you know that.
Yeah, but most people will do.
They're like,
20.
you know, these areas in the game that you guys hate. Play them. Play them. Maybe you'll learn to love them. Maybe you just learn to accept them.
They have acknowledged that certain areas of the game are more popular than others because the Ice Golem Peak is at 1 million, Fire Knight is at 5.5 million, Spider's at 17.5 million. So they've obviously looked at analytics here and gone, do you know what? A lot of people don't like Ice Golem.
Well, I just wonder if they're the areas that people are going to be farming anyway. So they're like, just the average people are going to be farming them. So let's make them higher because they're just passively going to be quicker. Whereas the areas like 3v3, people need to spend more time in.
I literally think they looked at the analytics and looked at what the possible numbers were, and that's how they phrased these numbers, because it wouldn't make sense to do it any other way. Yeah. Now, whether or not magically we get 100,000 successful runs towards the end if we're missing a milestone, we'll have to see, because that's happened before in these types of systems where all of a sudden the community bursts a lot of points and we suddenly get it all completed. It's not like magic.
Yeah, convenient.
But yeah, I mean, the fact that the Tag Team Arena is tied to the Legendary Book is a little bit awkward because it's so many Tag Team Arenas. We've done so far. Let's have a look here. It really frustrates me when you see large numbers and nobody puts like commas in. Like, please. So it's been 3 days.
Yeah.
We've done just under 6 million. So in that angle, if we said 30 divided by 3, so there's 10 more. So if we're on the current pace, we'll hit 60 million.
And how many do we need?
250. Yikers. That's current pace. And remember, everyone got 10 free refills, and we just had personal clan versus clan. So
I think you guys need to do your 3v3s.
This number here, this 6 million, is going to be accelerated because 3v3 is when everyone does Tag Team Arena. So if we're on an accelerated rate and we're only hitting 60 million...
Yeah, we might have a problem here, guys.
We might have a problem here. And if people don't get the Legendary Book, everyone's going to be like, I kid you not, if we complete every other milestone here, and this is what my problem is I have with sometimes with the free-to-play community, is they are like obsessed with Legendary Books. If every single milestone is missed here, and they miss the Tag Team Arena, everyone who is a free-to-play player will say this event was terrible. Kid you not. They will say it's the worst event they've ever had because they couldn't get the Legendary Book.
I mean, I'll be pretty annoyed, and I'm not free-to-play. I want that Legendary Book.
I mean, it's the most... You could argue it's the most valuable thing here.
Yeah.
I mean, potentially. I mean, even Hydra Key, right? So we're at 122,967. It reset yesterday, so it depends on how many keys were used yesterday. But
we just had reset, so a lot of people play around with their teams.
Well, because we've had a reset now, we know the maximum you can get is 9, right?
Yeah,
maximum. So to get the remainder of Hydra here, I'm turning this into a little for science video here at this rate. Like we need 4.5 million, right? So we now need, because of the time remaining, let me just remove the points we have got. We haven't got that many Hydra keys used so far.
And you guys thought that this was just the podcast. Now this, you can see the cogs turning.
We need 486,335 players and 0.22, if you want to cut a person in half, to use all 3 keys for the remainder of this event. Otherwise, we won't hit that XP barrel. So you can kind of see, like, the number. It's already looking a bit.
So you need half a million people basically to
you need half
use
a million
their
people
keys.
To use all 3 keys, all 3, for the next 3 weeks, which is unlikely, right?
we don't get 500,000 views on our channel. However, interesting fact, we are about to break 500,000 views on our YouTube channel.
Oh, wait. That's nice.
Which is
You're doing
cool.
well.
But everyone who's watching this, go spend your Hydra keys. Don't just do the one if you
tag team.
Yeah,
Even
and
if
tag
you
team.
lose, it's win or lose. I think they need to like put lose in bold.
Just get rid of that currency.
You don't give a crap about tag team arena. Just use your daily tokens, because it doesn't matter if you win or lose. It's just we need fights, because there's no way we are going to hit 250 million at the pace we're going right now, and then everyone is going to complain about the lack of legendary book. So if you take anything away from this podcast, tag team, fight, lose,
Hydra,
tag team,
lose.
because like Spiders will sort itself out. It's already well on its way. I think Fire Night, when there's a Fire Night event, you'll see the Krakens come out and absolutely slam Fire Night. Ice Golem, I'll be honest, it's a bit pitiful. It's on 45,000 out of 100,000, out of 1 million. It's a bit pitiful, but you know, I think some people went for the Kale tournament. It was also clan versus clan, so I wouldn't expect people to run Ice Golem during clan versus clan. It's just not fast enough.
No.
There is a Dragon tournament coming up for Kale shards, so I would expect that the Dragon's Lair one will jump up. But again, it's only 300 energy, so it's not the end of the world. But I think for a lot of people, if they don't get the Legendary book out of this Summer Trials event, there's going to be a lot of disappointment with it.
I think we almost need to get Hellhades to put out an Act Now video.
We probably should. We might have a word.
We might have a problem with that, because he's going on holiday tomorrow. So
yes, he is.
Maybe you should do it.
Yeah. So I think as a summary, though, I love the idea of this community-driven events that engage people on a level that is like, you know, strategic goals. Try and get people work together, and then you get rewards out of it. I do agree with what Hellhades was saying when he was reviewing this in his video yesterday on his catch-up news. That if I hit the milestone here, just give me the reward. Why do I need an event to unlock? Like, I don't need an event to give me the reward that I've earned from a previous event. That's just like layering it into a complex system that doesn't need to happen. It would have been good enough to go, if you do 250 million battles, have a legendary book.
Yeah, I think so. They should just be the rewards for a bit like what they did when they promote content creators. It was like, you know, if this person hits, I think it was Chosen, wasn't it? If Chosen hit like a certain amount of followers, like everyone would get a reward. So obviously everyone's like, yes, let's go follow, because we want those goodies. And I feel like that's how it should be, not wrapped up in we're gonna make you work once you've done the work. It's like, it's not fun.
So Cold Hot Cool is saying, isn't the event probably tied into Fusion warm up? Well, the thing is,
that's very possible.
It doesn't start till August 22nd.
Oh, we're gonna have a fusion.
We're gonna have a fusion before that, unless they skip a month, which is unlikely. So the chances are we'll probably hear, like maybe today, tomorrow, potentially, of the new fusion.
Or have we already been hearing?
Oh, the Death Knight
is the question, and I think that leads into perfectly into that little segue. That
do you actually think Ultimate Death Knight?
It's happening. It is happening.
If you go on Twitter, you'll find there is a new Twitter account, which is worth looking at who he's followed, because it's quite funny.
Oh yeah, we were actually sat in a bar in Amsterdam, and my phone pinged, and I sort of looked at it. It's like, has Death Knight made a Twitter account?
Well, it kept pinging, didn't it? It pinged like 6 times in a row, and you were like, "What the hell is going on?" And you looked at it, and it's like, "Oh, why is Death Knight tweeting?"
Yeah, Death Knight has made a Twitter account. And if you read through who he's followed, it's brilliant. It's like loads of like bone companies.
Wasn't it like Raid Bug Spray?
Yeah. Like Raid Bug Spray, and like he's following 10 people, and then just randomly you got Beyonce in there as well.
Well, the thing is, when they did the Hydra reveal, they used the social media channels to basically reveal the content there. And the way that people found it is the Twitter was like following, or had like a follow to another account which had a link to another thing. So actually looking at the followers was like, oh, maybe we'll find some sort of hidden secret.
Yeah. No, we found Beyonce.
He's just following Beyonce and Raid Bug Spray.
Yeah.
Because, you know, someone in play a really good sense of humor in the social media department.
But then as well as that, we've also had like a mini like video type thing.
A little sneak peek.
Which says the words Ultimate Death Knight. Now, just to put this into perspective, this first day that we started seeing these tweets going out, we're obviously sat in a bar we're having a couple of drinks. I think we were due to go out into town, and we just met up after getting changed and stuff from TwitchCon. We sat downstairs in the bar, and Saphira actually said, "Do you think they will either upgrade Death Knight how he is right now, or do you think that they will create an ultimate Death Knight like what they've done with Gallic?"
I think Hellhades thought they were going to rework him, and
yes,
I was like,
he did. And you said, "I think he's going to be a
imagine they'll make a
completely
new
new character."
champion.
Yeah.
a bit like Dark Hail, a bit like Ultimate Gaelic.
Well,
a
you
bit
actually
like,
said ultimate Death Knight,
yeah.
and now we're seeing hints.
Whether he's legendary or epic, I don't know.
I think he's going to be legendary. He's got to be.
Well, all the like ultimate ones are all epics. That's what's
Yeah, but it's Death Knight.
Yeah, but Death
Oh,
Knight's
yeah,
like
but all
common.
of the standard ones are rare, whereas Death
Yeah,
Knight's
of course.
common. So
Well, I mean, it could just be a rare then. I mean,
yeah. Ultimate Death Knights are rare.
could be
That's like
getting,
the biggest troll.
Ultimate 8 here.
The biggest troll that is going. Ultimate Death Knight is literally going to be rare.
Yeah.
That would be so good. Oh,
They've been working up to this for a while, hinting like, Death Knight wants to be bigger than himself. He wants to be the best champion and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's been a bit of a meme, but
well, I know.
I think it's quite cool. They've been building up to
Hellhades
it.
initially said that he thought he might be a boss in the new tower
Yes.
potentially.
Like the Sky Touch Peak, right?
Yeah, which would be cool. But
We
I
don't really know. We literally have no information, and as usual, as content creators, we get very little information.
Yeah.
They're keeping this one. The only good thing I would say is they're keeping this one very, very tight to the chest, which means that normally when they do this, it's pretty exciting or pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Hydra, for example,
So-
we didn't even know anything about it until Hellhades got a random T-shirt, and I think it was like 5 content creators got a T-shirt, and that was
Yeah.
it. That's all we knew about it until it's all started coming out and all being revealed. So I think when they get really super quiet and super close to the chest about things,
Yeah.
it means it's pretty good. Fingers crossed.
yeah, maybe everyone's going to get a free Death Knight.
I mean, I wouldn't put it
Ultimate.
past them to make him a fusion. I just don't think.
I'm not even
Like,
thinking fusion. I'm thinking like 7-day login sort of thing.
It could be The only thing I would
Deliana
say
style.
The only thing I would say with that is they just extended Deliana.
Yeah.
So I don't know, and also they tend to.
I mean,
put
this
that
is
in the
this
game
is me
code.
wishful thinking here. I don't actually think that we're going to get a free legendary.
I think we will. I think we'll get him for free in an event style thing. It might be a fusion. It might be a fragment collector. It could be like, as I said to you before the podcast, someone's been watching far too much Marvel films because all we're getting these days is like phase 1 and phase 2 of things. Phase 2 of Trunderskins is about to start. Get phase 1 of the Telerian Summer Trials. So maybe we could have like a phased thing where you have a certain amount of events, you get some things, and then a certain amount you get another. We don't really know. I mean, we
Maybe
don't
if
really
the
have any
community
information at
complete
all.
the summer trials, then we all get Ultimate Death Knight.
Oh, that would be a bait. Definitely get your tag team arena going then.
Yeah, they would.
That's the
They
thing.
would.
We literally have at the moment not really any information at all. Even stuff like I don't even think we've been given anything we can't tell anyone. We've literally had nothing.
I don't
So-
think there's anything under NDA at the moment.
No.
Anyway.
Well, all we've had is that little sneak peek video of the fact that it's coming of some sort, and it's been called Ultimate Death Knight.
Yeah.
I did see someone in the comments actually say, "Is it the first mythical champion?" That would be quite funny. Like they create like a mythical tier. of
That would be
champions.
cool.
It'll break all of our tools, and it'll take us about a day to fix everything.
Yes.
But that would be quite cool. Like make mythical champions.
How would they differ to just strong legendaries?
I don't know. Maybe they go to level 70,
Mm-hmm.
rank 7. Yeah.
Yeah.
So therefore you get a higher base. Because
That would be spicy.
a little bit of a for science section here, just on the side thing. The way that they scale stats is all based on base integer values, right? So they'll basically have a base number, and then that gets multiplied by the level and your rank ascendancy, right? So it's why you often see a lot of champions on defense base end up with 1443
Yeah.
because they're all working off the same base number. So if you add another rank 7 and rank 60, essentially you could give people more of that base number. And 7-star gear maybe in the star peak. I feel like we're close to that kind of like rank 7 stuff soon. I don't know whether
Sure.
we'll get rank 6 artifacts, but we must be getting close to it. Like mythical was kind of like a rank 7, but not really.
I
So-
think you could be right, but
It could be. I
whether
think there
that'll
would
be
a
Death
big
Knight at all, I
thing
think
is-
it would still be something that everyone could do rather than just like one new champion that can do this.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think either they're going to do like all rank 7, which I think would be probably too much.
Yeah.
Because if you think the amount of energy and silver that you need to do to just get a rank 6 champion, you add rank 7, that's like, it's an exponential growth, right? Yeah, you know, you 1 rank 6, now you need 5 rank 6, unless there's going to be a different mechanism for getting rank 7, which could be the Sky Touch Peak. So it's not like food into food, but actually like you need to farm a certain number of things in Sky Touch Peak. I think that would be better. I'm not against the power creep of having rank 7, level 30 dungeons, those sorts of things, as Cold Hot Cool saying there. But I think you can't have a system that was designed to only get you a rank 6 continue to grow with that power creep, because you're not increasing the reward level equally. You're not then going, okay, have another 130 energy per day. You're just saying, now that you've done that, like training a champ to rank 7 is like insanely harder. If they did a secondary currency in the like Sky Touch Peak where you need a certain amount of fragments or something, and that would unlock the rank 7, a bit like what you see in League of Legends, where if you're playing a champion, you hit like the rank 5 for the points, and then in order for you to get rank 6, you need to S rank in a battle, and then you get like a token, and you use a bit of blue essence, and that gets you rank 6. And then once you get rank 6, you have to do it again, but this time you need like 2 tokens.
Sure.
So 2 S ranks. You could do something like that. So you basically do the standard farm into rank 6, go to Sky Touch Peak, and then you need to like, I don't know, maybe there's a per floor system or something, and that gives you fragments, and you need to hit 100 fragments, then you can use those fragments to upgrade something to a rank 7. Because if you make it a whale fest, you're in trouble automatically.
Yeah, arena's immediately gonna get twisted.
You know, I don't think it's a bad thing that you offer maybe some of those fragments as a purchasable option, but you cannot make it an infinite purchase.
Ooh, did he just say that?
You need to cap it.
Did he just say that?
I'm always balanced with these things. If people don't want to do the grind, they should be able to buy it. But what you shouldn't do.
Oh, you're brave. You're brave. I know. This is going on YouTube, remember? Out of anything good that you've said this entire podcast, dropping, I don't mind if they put it as a paid thing. You know that's the one thing people are going to pick up on.
They are, but I think the balance here is you need to make sure that if people want to buy it, it's as a trade-off for the grind, right? I mean, buying in raid is very much like you're not paying to win necessarily, unless you're a Dinmere and you pull like 7 Duchesses in one event. You're normally buying to save time, right? You're buying because you haven't got the time to do something, or you're buying to basically speed up the game progress.
I
or
agree
you're buying
with that,
because you want to just get somewhere through. There's not a lot in raid that actually I would say is now, pay to progress. That's it. But if you make it so that you can buy the fragments, but you just can't buy an infinite amount, then I think it's fine. Because I think as long as you go, you could basically have it like Sky Touch Peak is a daily grind. You basically climb up the thing, and then after a month, you get 100. You can make a rank 7, right? And maybe you can buy 1 rank 7 a month as well. Now, yes, it's 100% faster than everyone else, but what you're not doing is going. You can't rank 7 everything in one day.
Yeah, and that's where you're going to have issues if rank 7 comes out. You know, bronze 1 arena is going to be saturated with 7-star champions.
So I don't think it's too bad at the moment in the lower tiers.
It seems okay, because I started a new account on stream yesterday, didn't I? And I'm actually really enjoying it. I've been playing it. I know I'm still in that like honeymoon phase where like everything's really to do, easy, right? And
you've got missions and goals. Like I miss the missions now since I got Roman 2. It's like I used to log in and go, right, what's next? What's the next thing I want? You know, what's the next step? What's this? What's that? But now it's kind of like I log in and I go, all right, what event's on? Okay, what quests do I need to do?
Let's make our predictions now, because we're coming up to about an hour or so that we've been doing the podcast. Death Knight or Ultimate Death Knight, Fusion or Fragment Fusion, or neither. I'm going to
be on the side. I think it's going to be a special event.
I'm going to say traditional fusion, like the Skull Lord one, where you just need lots of Death Knights.
That's an actually brilliant shout.
Yeah, I think that would be so cool. You just need
lots of rank 3 Death Knights.
Yeah, you need 16 Death Knights to make Ultimate Death Knight.
That's a. I think actually that, you know, maybe get yourself into Playroom HQ and tell them that, because I think that's a genius idea.
I just think
really
it would
do.
look so great on your screen where you just have to chuck in shitloads of Death
The
Knights.
the only thing with that would be you could just like grind the mystery shards.
Yeah,
So you could do it. You wouldn't need to do any of the events. So that's the only thing that they would go, oh, that's a bit awkward.
yeah, I guess. But
You know, let's face it, Goat Day, goat farming was great fun, but nobody really pulled that many goats.
True.
So that's the only thing I would say with
it seemed rigged.
Unless they take him out of the shard summoning, people could just literally pull their 1,000 mysteries, get all the Death Knights they want.
But it'd be hilarious. It would be so good, honestly.
But it would be funny. But I actually think it'll be a side event. I don't think it'll be fusion or fragment. I think we'll have a traditional one. Obviously, the other thing to note is, if anyone didn't catch my patch notes video, plug in here, there is a new daily login champion coming, which is a legendary champion.
Oh yeah, of course. Do you have much information on that or anything?
I have a picture and some skills.
Aside from that,
I have a picture and some skills. I gotta remember what it was now, because I think I recorded it in my post-COVID.
Are we allowed to talk about it, or are we going to get in trouble for it?
It's not like there's anything.
We get in trouble for spilling too much information, guys. So
there's not a lot in here. I would say that's like all it is literally the skill icons and the avatar. So there's not like I know anything about it. You can probably make some assumptions from the skill icons.
Yeah.
So there's like an accuracy symbol with an arrow in it. So obviously I think it might be like a decreased accuracy or something of that nature. There's a shield being broken in half, so maybe there's some ignored defense.
Yeah.
And then there's like a purple helm thing. So what's weird about it is it looks a bit grungy, the of Avatar. I don't know if we can show it on stream, but it looks a bit like...
I can't at this time.
Yeah.
After we finish the podcast, we can, and I can have it edited in.
It's basically, if you check out my the patch notes video that I do a patch notes video breakdown every patch, and I go into like the game code and we have a look at like, you know, what didn't you know about, what's the multipliers of the new champions and all that kind of stuff, all the stuff that people want to know but you don't get from the official patch notes. At the bottom of that, I basically cover 3 new champions that are in the kind of game code. I don't actually know what any of them do. I just have skill icons and the avatar, and the avatar literally looks like some sort of like occult warrior kind of scenario where they basically look like I don't know, they look like they should be in a Bannerlord, but at the same time they look like they've joined like an occult dark thing because they've got like a weird kind of mark on their head.
Interesting.
But that will be
I'll
a new
have
legendary.
to check it out. I was planning for TwitchCon when you released that video, so
yeah. There's also 2 new champions. 2 new ones. 2. And one of them potentially could do a skill cooldown reduction, because he's got an hourglass. I get really excited when I see an hourglass.
We like that.
But yeah, obviously, I think it's fine
Kaimar's little brother.
I think it's honestly fine to talk about these because all they are pictures. We don't actually know anything about them. And I don't even know if they'll ever get released. But normally, when we get these informations like this, they tend to get released a couple of months after they're in there.
Yep.
I think Nekmothar, for example, was in the game code about 2 months before it actually got released. Same with Deliana. We had kind of an information about what it would do. I didn't release it because I was waiting for the actual champion. I think Deliana's where I got in trouble because I maybe gave a little bit too much information away.
Yes, you
dates
did.
And schedules. But the actual kit,
the idea, the kit, how the champion worked, how we were going to get it, that sort of thing.
I didn't release the kit. I think all I did was I basically got the text descriptions from like the splash art.
You pulled the splash art out of the game.
The localization text. I didn't actually know what the champion did. I just had the localization text, which kind of gave hints, and I put the time scales of when it was going to start and when it was going to end. So I probably got a bit in trouble there. I probably gave a little bit too much information away. But you know, the other argument is don't put it in the game code if you don't want people to know about it. But hey, whatever. I learned my lesson. In this situation,
slap on the wrist from Polarium.
In this situation, I think it's fine because, as I said, it's literally just pictures. I don't even know anything. I don't know their name, faction, what type of champion they are, what abilities they do. You can make assumptions from the skill icons, but it's not exactly easy. You know, like so from the second champion here, he's got like twin swords and he's got like a little lightning thing above one of the flame heads, so that could be a turn meter reduction. But it's so hard to know unless it's super obvious. Like I think it was.
I feel like I'm sat with Tom Holland doing a promo for a Marvel film.
Yeah.
And I just kind of have to like put my hand over your mouth at some point because it's like, I'm sat here like you're gonna get us in trouble for some of the shit that
Well,
you're
yeah, Tom
dropping.
Holland Lincoln. Yeah, yeah. You need to babysit me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think one of the champions before had like a hex symbol, so you knew hex was in part of his kit. But apart from that, you don't really know what anything does. So I think it's absolutely fine. But obviously, Lady Arash, I think, ends in 20 days for me. Like, I'm pretty high on the Lady Arash cycle. So I think I get that useless epic in, like, let's see, what is my daily log in here? Looking at the game. I get that in around about, what is it? It really bugs me they do 6 days on this table. Feels so unnatural on the daily login. They should do 7.
Yeah.
6, 12, 18, 19. So in 19 days, I'll get Lady Arash. So I would imagine sometime in the next 19 days, we're going to get the new login champion added, which would make sense because the patch will be in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. So that'll be mid-August, I guess, that we start to see that stuff popping up.
The fusion's over now for Walking Tomb Drain, right? And they don't normally leave it that long, right? So we would expect
2
the next
weeks or
fusion to start maybe on the 4th at the latest. So I would imagine we'll get news either today, tomorrow, or early next week of the new fusion, because they always give us a week's notice.
No, Hellhades is going on holiday tomorrow, so we're going to find out on Tuesday.
We're going to get it tomorrow. I said so.
No, we'll get it on Tuesday, I think.
You think? I'm pretty sure they always release it when he's away, because someone's waiting for him to go away.
Well, he's away on Tuesday as well. He's away for a week, so...
Yeah, so I think
it's going to be next week that we're going to hear about it. I can
be this on
certain about it. So, if you haven't already, subscribe to the HH Gaming channel, because as soon as we find out the information, we're going to be covering all the news in Raid while Hellhades is away.
You got us instead of Hellhades. I know we're
nowhere near as interesting, and we don't come with bandanas and maximum damage and things like that, but we will keep you informed. Or just check out the website, because obviously we put everything on there as well. Yeah,
in exchange for maximum damage and bandanas, you get numbers and my face, which is not, it's probably not as attractive as Hellhades for some people. Although some people did prefer me over Hellhades. I will put it out there. The people that commented and said...
I love this in chat. Maximum info.
Maximum info.
You should definitely do a maximum info short series. That'd be so good.
The first time I did the cover-in video for Hellhades when I was away, I was tempted to like try and do an impersonation of it and come in and go, it's Hellhades free to play, but it was awkward. I can't do the whole
free to play.
Maximum damage.
When we were drunk at Christmas, I've got a video on my phone where I got him to do it, and I'm not going to play it. I'll show it sometime on stream. But we were in a bar, and I got him to do the maximum damage thing in a bar. Yeah. It was amazing.
What makes me laugh is free to play thing gets deeper every time he does it.
Yeah.
Like he gets like more aggressive and more low, and I'm like, good lord, it feels like you can have like a heart attack trying to do this free to play.
Yeah.
It's quite funny. Anyway, should we take some questions?
Yeah, so we're wrapping up the main section of the podcast here. We're going to jump over to chat. So if you guys have got any questions about the Optimiser, anything about things that are going on in the game, we'll take a few questions before we close off. Or TwitchCon, or
any questions?
Want us to spill any dirt on Hellhades?
Spoilers. I should, I got so many potentials. Maximum mathematics, maximum spoilers. I got a great video that we got coming out probably in the next couple of days. Everyone's gonna love it. Free stuff, intent. I'm just baiting the community now, aren't I?
Yeah. Make sure you're subscribed. Maximum maths.
Maximum mathematics.